Hey guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. Those who don't know me, I am Anushka Gupta and I scored 650 marks in NEET 2022 and today I am going to talk about my NEET journey. Before that, I would like to tell you that I have been in a batch who has seen the offline mode of studying, the online mode and the hybrid mode that exists now. I've seen the times before COVID and after that, and basically I have seen it all. I know the difficulties that you're going to face or are already facing in your life, and I just want to make this journey easier for you. So, as for my journey, I will start it from the very beginning. I am a pretty average student when it comes to studies. I have never been a big bookworm. I have not given much Olympiad. I was very much interested in the co-curricular activities there are. I used to play basketball, I used to do discus throw and a lot of sports, a lot of music, dance. पढ़ने के अलावा जो भी किया जा सकता है मैंने सब किया. For boards, I had very little motivation in the beginning to score a high percentage or a 90+ percentage. But when I saw some students of my school getting 98 percentage or topping the school, topping the city, I felt like even I could do it. I had seen them in my school and I thought, why not? So in the beginning I was not very much into studying, but then I picked up my pace. I started doing 3 to 4 hours of minimum study in a day. I managed to get 96.8 percentage in my 10th boards. Both my parents are doctors, so I have a little insider perspective of the medical field and the medical background. So I decided I'll take bio. As for bio, I had to join a coaching for 11th, 12th because I had to give my NEET. So I wanted to go to a hostel personally because I cannot study at home. There are a lot of distractions for me here. So I decided I'll go for a hostel, and for that Kota seemed like a best option. So I joined Allen in Kota for my 11th. So after my boards, right after 5 to 6 days, I remember, in April I went Kota and I settled there a little, and then I sent my parents back here in a day only. And it is tough to be in a hostel all by yourself. In the initial months you have to really settle down there, you have to make some friends, you have to keep up with the schedule, where we used to get up at around 6. We had our classes at 6:45 in the morning, and we had 4 classes of around 1.5 hours each, and our classes used to end at around 1 p.m. and then we used to come back, have our lunch and go to our room and just sleep. We were so tired. हम इतने थक जाते थे that हम सिर्फ सोने ही जाते थे अपने कमरे में. After sleeping for 1 hour, maybe 2 or 3 hours, and then just wake up, do a little homework, revise a little what was taught in the class, and शाम को थोड़ा सा बाहर जाते थे, then talk to some people, make some new friends, and go back to have dinner, and then just do a little more studying or managing what was happening in our classes. We had our phones. I had my phone with me, but I wasn't logged in any of my social media accounts. I just had my WhatsApp to contact my parents and my family, and I only had my phone for that reason. Our routine used to be like this, and as for scoring in the tests that I had, I used to score at around 550 to 600 marks in the initial tests, and as the year went by, जब full syllabus tests हुए, I scored at around 480, 450 also, but I used to stay in that range of 450 to 550 range in my final exams before coming back to my house for a break. We had 1 month break before 12th. For that we feel like I wasn't very much focused in 11th. मतलब मुझे एक डॉक्टर बनना था, but that internal motivation that people talk about, I did not have that when I was in my 11th. So I gave it my best shot, but I was never 100% invested in the thought of getting a good rank, or I did not have a dream college for myself that I was aiming for. And when I look back, it is important. If you don't have any aim or you are just doing it for the sake of it, you can never give it your 100%. So that is important, and I am glad I found it in my 12th class. So this is where our 12th begins. So we were at our home for that 1 month break. हम लोग अपने घर में आराम कर रहे थे, थोड़ा enjoy कर रहे थे, पेरेंट्स के पास थे, थोड़ा फैमिली के साथ टाइम स्पेंड कर रहे थे. एंड व्हेन इट वाज about time to go back to Kota and start our 12th, I was really determined I'll start in a better way and I'll wrap my things around and I will do regular study and maintain my regular hours. I will read NCRT. I had completely neglected it in my 11th class. But जब हम लोग वापस जाने वाले थे around March and lockdown was announced and I did not have my books with me. This is the most tragic part. I did not have any of my books for around 5 months. I did not have anything. I just brought 2-3 books for myself here and I did not have any other material. And for 12th, I had no material. We were stuck here and our classes started a little later in around April. And we had online mode of studying for the first time. Even the teachers weren't that equipped with the technology of it. They did not completely understand how to make the classes and the interactions more, they weren't that interactive with us like they were in the offline mode. And I think we faced a backlash because of that. We did not have our books, so we downloaded the PDFs of all the chapters and the books and the modules, and we used to get them printed somehow and use them. And it was very much, everything was just a mess. Everything was a total mess. We used to study from the PDF. We had 4 classes or 3 classes in the beginning. Our classes used to come live at 1 p.m. We had recorded classes. They used to come live at 1 p.m. And till then we had nothing to do. हम लोग एक फ्लो में काम नहीं कर पाते थे. हमें क्लासेस देखनी होती थी, फिर उनके नोट्स को लिखना होता था, समझना भी होता था. And our teachers were teaching from the PPT. So we just didn't know how to manage it. मतलब पढ़ने का तरीका totally changed. Our environment was totally different. And COVID grew. COVID got bigger and bigger. My parents are both doctors, so they used to be on duty. My father was on COVID duty. My mother was on COVID duty. And they used to go there. They used to be there for almost the whole day. My father had night duties. He used to stay there. I was very much worried. I used to be worried about them and about our family. If anybody out of us got COVID, it would have been an issue. Thankfully, we did not. All these times were very difficult for me and for my friends, and I think for everybody out there. It was just hard to get hold of yourself, then to think about your marks, then to think about NEET. And the batch 2020 wala batch was about to give their NEET in May. That got postponed, obviously. And then all the news about the postponement and NEET pattern and everything was going around. I remember in August, I watched some YouTube videos about life of MBBS, about the mentors that were there, some people that were making YouTube videos for us. I learned something from them, that life of MBBS is not just studying. It's not just about studying for the whole day or giving exams for the whole year. It's a very good life. And that is when it struck me, that is when it motivated me that I'll give NEET, I'll get a very good college, and that very good college will give me the quality of life that I want. I don't want to be studying for my whole life. I want to do a lot of things and I have a lot of plans for myself. So I thought I can do MBBS and I can get a good medical college. For that, I really have to study. That is one big turning point in my life. The August and September, I really started working on myself. I started making notes. I started doing proper hours of studying. I started managing my studies and started setting my goals and targets and timetables and working as for my tests in the COVID times, I was scoring at around 500, which I thought was a very bad score. but somehow I got selected for this batch that is there in Allen. So they have this batch which is either called SRG, but they named it something else. They named it some ACU batch in 12th, and I got an invite for it, and we got a mentor. We had a whole group made out of it. They used to send us some extra material, some extra tests, and I attempted the tests, and I there was not much time for me to go through the extra material, the extra questions booklet and some things like that. But yeah, I managed to do whatever I could, and I was still scoring the same. Then COVID was finally settling down a little, and around December, January, it settled down quite a bit. Lockdown was opened, so I decided I'll go back to Kota and I'll get my stuff and come back maybe, or just stay there. We also had our boards approaching in the March and April, so we started working for that as well, for the optional subjects such as English and PE that I had chosen. And we started giving it time. We started writing for our practicals and started finding resources and stuff. Tests are very important when it comes to NEET, so I decided I'll go there and give offline tests in the coaching. I went there, I stayed there for around 2-3 months. मेरा पढ़ाई का पैटर्न भी काफ़ी बेटर हो गया था. I started setting up a timetable. I got adjusted to the environment there, and I started giving tests and everything. My score started improving a little bit. After that, practicals also got cancelled for us due to the second wave of COVID, and our board exams got cancelled, and then my only focus was NEET 2021. So I started giving it all my time. I started studying for 10 to 12 hours, and I gave it my all. I gave it everything that I had in myself. I know my concepts were a little weak, and I could never attain the score of 600 or 650 plus, because my concepts and the basic knowledge was weak for 12th class. And because of that, I just studied as much as I could, because I knew जितना भी मुझे आता है मुझे उतना पूरा देना है पड़ेगा, so that even if I have 1% of getting a college in this attempt, I should avail it. The exam got postponed to September 12th, which was good for me. I gave it some extra time to giving tests, but they weren't enough. I was always afraid to give tests because my revision was not proper and I was not scoring a lot. So I was scoring 450 in full syllabus exams for like 3 to 4 months, and I decided that this is not how it should be. So I tried a fresh approach, and I was really stuck on those marks 450 for a really long time. Like for 3 to 4 months I was stuck on that score. After that, I talked to some teachers, talked to my parents. I tried different approaches, and I started giving more tests in the last month, and I managed to score around 520 in some of my major tests. And then I went for the exam with all the confidence that I had, and I thought whatever I can, I'll give my best. I have a little different strategy of attempting the paper. मैं पहले physics करती हूँ, उसके बाद bio and then chemistry. So for me, that year wasn't good because attempting physics was one of the biggest mistakes, because the paper was a little unexpected and it was a little tough than the rest of the years. So I faced that problem and I panicked so bad that I got blank for like 10 minutes in the exam, and the time was already less because there were 200 questions due to the pattern change, and everything just wasn't good for me that day. Like it wasn't my day that day. So I came out and I told my parents the exam didn't go as planned. It wasn't very good, and I had this in my mind that I might have to take a drop, whatever the score might be. I came back home. I did not check it for 2 to 3 days because I was so tensed and I did not want to live through it again. After 2-3 days I checked and I was scoring 560. I actually scored 555 in my exam, but I was scoring 560 by then. I decided I'll give myself a whole break for the next month and then decide if I go for the drop here or not. So this was my journey till my drop year. After that, I obviously took a drop, and this is how it has been. So that is it for this video. I'm going to share the story of my drop year in the next one, which is coming out very soon. Till then, if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you want me to make a new video on any other topic, do comment down. If you relate to this video in any part, please comment down. And I've given a link to my Telegram channel in the description. Join it, and I'm going to share my material I used for NEET and notes and other stuff there. So do make sure that you join it.